Do your own research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy's back on the air, man. Thursday, October 27th. Thank God the weekend is almost over. Thank God the weekend is almost over. I want nothing more than the weekend to end right now, because the way these weed stocks have been running, motherfucker, can we please just end the week now? Just end the week now. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm having to go back and review everything. I'm just like, what the fuck? Stocks going from 20% losses to up 2% and down 5% and then closing down. I mean, I know this is OTC, but damn. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Thank you for watching Penny Stock Live, today's trades, whatever you want to call the show. Whatever you want to call the show. But we back in the building, man. We back in the building for the next 2 hours. We're going to talk about, something I love and something I hope you enjoy as well. Penny stocks. Typically stocks that trade under $10 a share, because we believe that they offer the best returns for individual investors who trade with less than $10,000. Okay? Yes, indeed. We got some people already in the chat room. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So we in the building right now, and of course, Mac 36090, Mr. Lloyd V12, One, Stock Diva. I think I saw Spartan Financial, Roderick Gray. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody in the chat room. Appreciate everybody in the chat room. Let me get in there myself. I see a little bit of it. Let me get in there myself. And yeah, man, I mean, MJNA is so funny because we talked about MJNA. MJNA sideways day to day. But yeah, it is kind of one of the more solid of the weed plays. And when MJNA has had a drop, it's had its times, where it's giving people some heart attacks. It's giving some people some heart attacks. But yeah, I was surprised to see MJNA not, scare people too much. But I mean, it was a scary day today. There's some people up there at 13. Don't get it twisted. There's some people up there at 13. So when we talk about MJNA, if you were already in the stock and just kind of watching it do its thing, not too bad. Not too bad. And this is the 1 day chart right here. This is the 1 day chart. So look, there's some people up there at 13, man. There's some people who got excited and thought it was about to do something, and sure enough, they had their ass handed to them. They had their asses handed to them. So it was a scary time in a lot of different stocks, man. I'm out of NEWC. I as soon as I saw that red, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm just done. Done. Don't even want to hear about it anymore. Okay. I already had an issue with it, and I broke one of my own fundamental rules, which was buying shares in a company that is not in compliance. I broke one of my own rules. All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody enjoyed a wonderful trading day. What was that? MRNJ? I wanted to check on that. What is... nah, that's ugly, man. That is ugly. What is that? I don't even know what kind of chart is this. What is that? You got a lot of volume that's is required to move that. And again, like ERBB, it could show up. But ERBB, let's not even get started on ERBB. I mean, I feel so sorry for some of the investors that were in ERBB, because ERBB, there was one time today ERBB was down like 50%. I checked ERBB today at around, this was about, noonish, well, actually 11 o'clock. If you check the tape, it was like down like 50% today, ERBB. I know for a fact some of you guys probably got scared and ran out of that one. You didn't know where the hell that was going. Okay. Got down to the bottom of the RSI, and I had to get back to doing that, man. Playing some of these beat up plays, good companies with beat up stocks, and we kind of brushed up a little bit on that yesterday on the show. And sure enough, my big winner of the week was EKSO, and playing that RSI, the weakness on the RSI, because I knew it. I just said, man, this is going to be a great play. And EKSO really knocked it out the park yesterday. Really knocked it out the park. What's going on, Joe Flores? Dan Gal, GSAT. You brought that up a couple times. What do you like about GSAT, man? GSAT is sitting at some, at a dirt cheap price right now. We've seen GSAT in the past here on the show in the 140s. Not too long ago, actually. In fact, when we look at the chart, you'll see it. Back in September, it was a $1.40 stock way back when. But you got to remember, one of the reasons why it got up there was that GSAT, if my memory served me right, Jay had came out and said that they were one of the first companies to try and go out and get LT. That's the word for it. Is it LTE5 or something like that? I think we're on like broadband 4 or something like that, and they got the 5th broadband, and they're trying to apply for it. But for whatever reason, it hasn't happened yet or whatnot. But GSAT still doing its thing. They've got a remarkable technology. They just have to, make some things happen, whether it be a contract winner or something. Rolf, you still like ERBB? You still in it? Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck tomorrow, because ERBB was, again, it's had an incredible, run here these last couple of days. In fact, let's just look at a nice, this is a 1 month chart here, but obviously let's just start here at about the 2 week point. Last 2 weeks have been incredible in the stock. A lot of people have got, some huge returns in the stock. All right, some huge returns in the stock. So I'm going to be watching ERBB tomorrow, because there were, again, some scary points in the chart in ERBB. Okay. Yeah, EKSO again, man. EKSO was just, a beautiful play, and again, a great opportunity that if you, just put in $1,000, you know what I'm saying, get yourself 120, 130, whatever it was on the return. But, a stock that was just oversold, that, at the end of the day, they still got a really great product. And, it just got to a point where it had gotten too low too quickly. And it was a beautiful bounce back. And I got another bounce and play for you guys today as well that I think I want you guys to take a look at. Okay. You were going to get in, but only had 500 volume this morning. Oh, okay. No, it ended up with 500,000 shares this morning, actually. 500,000 shares today. Yeah, EKSO, man. Look, when you're talking about playing these bottom feeding on the RSI, that's a strategy for a lot of people. In fact, on finviz.com, when you're doing the stock scanner, that's one of the strategies they'll let you select, one of the criteria. Do you just want show all tickers that have, below 20 on the RSI, oversold, below 30 or below 40? And sure enough, EKSO was on the top of the chart for, all 3 sections of that. So I had no doubt about it that it was going to run today. Yes, indeed. Michael B, you said BAS is oversold. I was thinking BAS was oversold yesterday, but based on what it did today, I don't think so, man. I think there might be some serious things going on with the company that again, I haven't taken a look at the the books on the company, but I mean, this is the chart for BAS today, and I don't see anything oversold here. Obviously, toward the end of the day today, you had some people come in at 36 cents to kind of see what can happen tomorrow, but we'll see. BAS, that's the play. That is the play. All right. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So again, man, the weed stocks are losing weight. The weed stocks are losing weight. And what can we say? What can we say? We can't overpromise and say, hey, all these losses will be made back. Don't worry. Just stick by them. I know you're losing money, but for those of you guys who had jumped in recently, obviously for those of you guys who had been in some of these stocks a week and a half, 2 weeks, you could really care less because you're up huge. So this is what, not too much of a decline for you, but obviously you're looking at your profits disappearing as well, right? You're looking at your profits and you're thinking, okay, maybe it's time for me to get out the game. And that's the scary part, is that we don't know how long these losses will continue, because there are people who are in these stocks that have 400, 500, 700, 800% gains in their brokerage accounts. So they're looking at these stocks now, 20% losses, 10%, 12, 15%. So they're going into the next day thinking like, okay, maybe it's time for me to get out. And that exacerbates, or whatever. I don't know why I always have trouble saying that word. The losses, right? It just becomes a deeper and deeper hole. Yeah, I did see Sun Q run today. And Sun Q, another stock that was, I don't know why that wasn't on our list, but it should have been on our list. All the Qs should have been on there. But Sun Q, Sun Edison, another bottom feeder, that kind of runs when it wants to. I don't know if it actually has any kind of like strategy to it. You really can't time it, because, look at what it did last week. In fact, this was actually Monday, where it just kind of shot up on Monday and kind of gave it all back almost in the same damn day. But since the bottom, which was the Tuesday, it's done pretty well for itself. You're in at what, 17, 18? 17, 18? It's done pretty well. It's a nice little stair step, to that chart. Mr. Lloyd, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Sal, and everybody?
What up?
Yeah, you know what, man? Today was a decent day, man. I'm gonna tell you something. So CVSI. Mm-hmm. Now all the weed stocks are down today. Everything took a big ass diarrhea poop.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest thing I did, man, which is really hard for people to do, and is when I bought it 69 cents, and when I got to work, it was 80 cents when I left, and when I got to work, it was sitting at 70 cents.
Yeah.
I went ahead and backed out, man. I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wait until tomorrow. And
so you're saying you sold out of this yesterday?
Today.
Oh, you sold out today. Okay, you sold out of it today, because I'm seeing the chart here today. It actually opened up in the red, pretty much, right?
Right. Yeah, but it was green at first, and I said, okay, yeah, it went down a little bit, and I said, okay, well, I ain't gonna worry about it. And when I got to work, that shit tanked, and NEWC tanked, and everything else was tanking. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just cut my losses, take it like a man. It's only $9.99. It's better than, and it wasn't even really a loss, because I was a penny up, so it wasn't that bad. But it feels good to be able to to own up when it's not working. You know what I'm saying? When it ain't working, get the hell out. Don't hope for the future. You know what I'm saying? If it goes back up, then you know I'd rather just cut it off now and instead of just hope and pray that it goes back up, because it may never reach that level again. Right. People may get tired of the stock and move their shit over to maybe IMUC and then pump that up. So you can never hope, especially with these marijuana players, because a lot of them aren't legitimate. Yeah. So anyway, that's my thing on that, man. And I'm still in INNV. I really got a lot of faith in this, man, but I'm not pumping it. I'm just when the news comes out, hopefully I can be the person that's getting ready to clap my hands and get ready to hit the sell button when that goes up to $2 to $3. But
yeah, man, that stock is all over the place. I mean, when we talk about INNV, let the people know what exactly are you waiting for in the stock again?
So I'm waiting for the FDA approval for the FluidiCare. So the FluidiCare is they have a contract to, well, they bought the rights to make the Flonase, but they also have other products. You know what's kind of cool, man? That public affairs guy sent me an article yesterday, which is pretty nice. I'm gonna forward it to you so you can see it. I was gonna send it to you earlier. 1 second, please.
What is the article about?
So basically, told me that about their plan, and they're hoping that at the end of the year to get the FDA approval for the basically just laying out the plan. So I really think they're positive in the money right now. I think from what they're saying is that they're expecting at least $5 million in revenue for this year. So I sent the article to you. You can take a glance at it. Of course, you put the disclosure with it, but it was just nice. It was a nice gesture for him to send it to me. You know, because I was pretty pissed, man, to seeing the stock go down and it's not moving.
Right.
But I mean, I guess it's good because it's not day traders running in and out of there. So, anyways, I got the article out, for the family. If you want to show it, or you can read it, whatever it is you want to do with it.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm here. Did you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you loud and clear. Okay, so
man.
If anybody wants it, I'll definitely share it to you.
All right, cool, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming, Mr. Lloyd. All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean that's cool, Mr. Lloyd. Look, he finally realized the stock isn't going anywhere, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out." And saved himself what could have been a very disastrous day. All the weed plays, pretty much all the decent ones that had been running, they are all kind of down today. Which is kind of crazy because I don't really see a reason for them to be down, the way they are. But they had been hot. They had been hot for quite a while. And, good things, unfortunately, don't last forever. What's going on, Jay? We got Jay in the chat room. What's going on? Q to Mayo. Michael B. What's going on? A Random Pin. I see you in the chat room as well. Yes, indeed. Stock Diva. What's going on? Ja Warrior. Michael 91. Old people, new people. What's going on, everybody? So yeah, man. Let's keep taking a look at what was up. Again, EKSO, man. That was another, just an awesome win because I was just really, really excited about how that went exactly as planned. Started off the day kind of weak, but sure enough, man, the bargain hunters came in and took us up there. So 47 cents gain for the stock. Good trade. That was a really, really good trade. Really good trade. OWCP. OWCP has been one of the more reliable weed stocks today. And that stock took a huge dump today on itself. This is a stock that, again, 2 days ago, we were talking about 21 cents, possibly touching 22 cents. Now we got some people who are down for, almost 40% in the stock if you're up there at 20s. You're really shitting on yourself if you went in too heavy. And that's why, again, I always suggest never go in too heavy on these things. I mean, look away, when they're down, they are really down. When they're up, they're really up. But I never suggest people go in too heavy on these OTC plays because, this is what happens. This is what happens. Okay, this is what happens. Okay. Looking at some of the other plays, Sprint, one of our more reliable, more expensive plays, sideways day today. Sprint, for those of you guys who've been watching, I know Sinclair, you're big on Sprint. Sprint is a stock that if you really know how to trade, you can probably just trade that chart all day if you got the cash like that. You have swings anywhere between 6 to 7% intraday in the stock alone. LQMT, another stock, yes, it did, Eagles. LQMT, Liquid Metal Technologies, that's the name of the company. And that's an old promo. I mean, that's a stock that's been promoted to death. But that stock is running, and it's under a new promotion. It's under a new promotion. In fact, if you spread the chart out a little bit, you can see that this is a stock that's been promoted several times. You can see all the spikes within the chart. The company, for the most part, is bullshit. But every time the stock goes dead for a little while, the CEOs and, the directors come together and they run a new promo, and they're running a new promo right now. LQMT, 25% gain on the stock right now. How long it'll last, I don't know. But as you can see, if you look throughout the chart, you'll see, where, LQMT just will spike. And obviously it doesn't hold its gains because legitimate companies never do. Legitimate companies never do. Okay. SGBY. Let's see what SGBY is doing. Signal Bay Technologies up 15% today. Now, this is a stock we've already talked about. I think this stock is now up over 2,000%. This stock has got to be up at least 2,000%. Got to be up anyway. I mean, if you look at, let me see here, the 3-month chart. Yeah, I think, I mean, since August 1st, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous how high this stock has gone. Retesting that 0.0240 recent high for the stock. So it looks to be retesting. And again, this is the 90-day chart. So, it looks like it's retesting some recent highs. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. LMQ, LMQT. It actually held its gain today, which is interesting, but over time it doesn't. Over time it doesn't hold its highs. Over time. MRPHF is a stock that's being promoted by Stocks NYC. He's another promoter. He's on Twitter, by the way. MRPHF, and which is really interesting because they got a girl on Instagram to promote the stock. They got a girl on Instagram to promote the stock. In fact, I can show you. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. But they got a girl who's got like 8 million followers on Twitter. And they sent me the message the other day that they were going to do it. And sure enough, they actually did do it. They actually did, do it. And I don't know if it's still up there or not. Because these hoes, you gotta pay them by the day just to keep your ad up. And if they don't like it, or if they get bullshit about it, they'll take it down. And for whatever reason, it's not coming back up. Yeah, it's not coming back up. But yeah, they got a girl on Instagram to promote the stock, and she had like 8 million subscribers. RGSE. Yeah, RGSE. I'm looking to see if that's going to do anything. Again, that's a big time spiker, but no news recently. Obviously, you guys remember that was built up by some news a couple months ago when they offered. What had driven that up again? I remember I thought it was a contract win or something to that effect. But nothing since, and it's given it pretty much all back. It's pretty much given it all back. Yeah, and I get, and it's almost to effect that again, I don't want to say this is doom. I don't want to say this is the end. I don't want to say this is the end. I don't. I really don't. I really don't want to say this is the end. I want to say that there is an opportunity that some of these stocks can still run. I want to say that there is an opportunity. But at the same time, you got to be a little realistic. Got to be a little realistic. Let me see what else. SGBY. I mean, everything from, hell, even iFan. Who brought up iFan yesterday? A couple days ago, you guys were iFan in the chat room. Now look at iFan took a shit on itself. 45%? 45% of its value in one day? Ladies and gentlemen, look, I understand this is OTC, but damn. That's horrible. 45%. That's I mean, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? And how much was traded in that stock, by the way? Over $600,000 was traded in iFan today. $600,000, and at least 95% of the trades were losing trades. Absolutely incredible. Now, it wasn't all bad news. We did have a couple plays. Pura is a stock that we've talked about here. We saw this at a penny. We did see this at a penny. Pura, not bad of a run today. 9% gain for the stock. Okay, 9% gain for Pura. A little bit under $300,000 traded in the stock today in Pura, P-U-R-A. MCOA, Marijuana Company of America, was down. That's 8%. CNBX. I think this was a new promo, Cannabis Pharmaceuticals, CNBX. This is a stock that just kind of started taking off. Today it really did its damage, but I mean, it's just quietly, gained value. This is the 5-day chart where you kind of started, this is the 1 month chart here, where it just really started recently coming alive on the 17th, which is about 10 days ago, at about 8 cents a share. 8 cents a share. Now we're at 35 cents. Huge 13% move today, almost 60% increase in the value of the company right now. Not bad. Not bad. All right, and that's CNBX. So CNBX, when a new one dies, a new one comes. A little bit over $330,000 traded in the stock today. So I expect maybe even double that tomorrow in CNBX. It's a nice play. I mean, if you look at the chart, it doesn't look too bad, man. Doesn't look too bad. I won't chase it, though, at the end of the day. I mean, look in the financials and see. It's probably not even legit. Just kind of another stock that, it's got cannabis in its name, so it's running. And it doesn't hurt that it's called Cannabis Pharmaceuticals. Right? That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. Yes, indeed. Andy Mon, I agree with you, Andy Mon. MJ stocks are not all done. I 100% agree with you. Nick, you said AGEN received a buy rating today. From who? Because that buy rating sure didn't help. That buy rating sure did not help. AGEN. Unless it came, I mean, that was fucking horrible, man. I'd love to know who gave that buy rating, because that did not do anything for that stock today. Look at this ugly ass chart. That was a horrible, horrible chart. Now what was that other? Was it Axum Biotechnologies? This is a stock that showed up out of nowhere today. I mean, absolutely nowhere. I couldn't find. There wasn't a promoter for this. It just shot up. It just shot up. Another OTC play. OTC play traded a cool million in the stock today. Cool million traded in the stock today, and I couldn't find out where it was coming from. Ticker is AXIM. Again, there's AXIM. Again, these new plays, I'm putting it out there for you guys to follow. So CNGX AXIM, because I'm trying to identify, is the money just moving somewhere else, or are people just genuinely taking profits? Are we in a situation where the people who have just been in for so long and have seen these incredible gains, are they just taking profits? And for those of you, who kind of sat back by the sidelines, becoming bag holders because simply, you were late to the party. Or this new conclusion that I'm coming to is that the money is going somewhere else and is going to other cannabis-related plays where the charts are not showing so much extension. You see what I'm saying? They're not showing so much, they're not showing overbought. You don't look at the chart and say, I'm getting in too high. That's a conclusion I'm coming to. That's the conclusion I'm coming to. IFBC, Patrick Roberts, Italian food and beverage. Patrick Roberts, are you a promoter, man? Because some of the Patrick Roberts will bring up some stocks that, you're like, what the hell is this? And then 2 days later, $1 million shows up in the stock, and you're like, okay, what the hell is going on here? So expose yourself, Patrick Roberts. Italian food and beverage. I don't know anything about it, but since you brought it up, I'm going to watch it. Because you have a tendency to bring up these stocks that will run after you somehow talk about it. So I don't know if you're using a heat scanner or what, but yes, indeed. Dan Gell, NEXX, NEXS. And Jay, do you still like steel and coal? Do you still like steel and coal? I'd like to know. I don't know if Jay's still watching or not. But if you still like steel and coal, let me know. NEXS, OTC, 96,000 shares traded in the stock today. I don't know anything about this, Dan Gal, so you let me know if you like it and why you like it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, if you got a hot stock for the family, give us a call, 305-600-2896. Let us know why you like the company, why you think it's going to keep running. Okay. You say what are the stocks going up tomorrow? That's what we're here to find out. That is what we're here to find out, Jug Nation. What are the stocks that are going to be running tomorrow for those of you guys who play stocks that way? Okay. AGTK, that I think took a dump today too. AGTK. Really interesting because we had a guy call up yesterday on the show. He asked us, what do you think I should do about my money in AGTK? And sure enough, I and many other people in the chat room said, get the fuck out of there. Take your profits and get out. I really hope he listened to us. I really hope he did. And Connor, I don't know if you're watching or not, but Connor, if you can call up and tell us about, the situation today. I'm going to let Connor speak for himself, but it kind of goes back to, again, standing, for how you trade and standing to your own rules and your trading philosophy and not breaking your rules. I'll let Connor speak for himself on that if he wants to. HTBX, $1.37, down 7%. This was a stock that, again, had a really great day. Last 2 days were really great in the stock. But sure enough, today was quite ugly. And it really wasn't that bad until, last hour of the day. Last damn 20 minutes of the day, honestly. For the most part, it wasn't that bad for HTBX. We were looking at a 1%, maybe 2% red day. But towards the end, somebody decided enough was enough. Enough was enough. Okay? So we're going to find what's going to run tomorrow. But sure enough, yesterday I said, okay, man, maybe it's time for us to start going back to some of these NASDAQ plays because OTC might be, we'll see. Liquid Metal Technologies finalizes $63 million equity raise. LQMT, thank you for the news, Mr. Bill Betts. Liquid Metal Technologies. Yeah, man, I'm hoping everybody's all right with the Trump campaign, specifically his Vice President Pence. I'm sure you guys heard not too long ago that the plane that he was in skidded off the runway, man. That's dangerous. People can get really hurt in that situation. But, something ran through my mind when that happened. I don't mean to get off topic real quick. But if something were to happen to Donald Trump so close to the election, that would be a conspiracy that this country would never live down. I mean, we don't get over JFK, but if something were to happen to Trump, oh, my God. 832, you're on the air. Is this Connor?
Yeah, what's up, Sal?
Connor, man, you reached out to me today. You said, man, I broke one of my rules, man, and I thought, it'd be a really good lesson for everybody in the chat room. So go ahead and tell me what happened.
I was going to call in. I was going to actually call in because I think it's good too, man. And like I'm sure everybody was hearing how I was preaching and about how I don't think it's a good idea to play earnings and and I never do. I never play earnings, and I even try to talk trial out of that Netflix one, even though the Netflix one went good, but told him it's just not worth it. And I never play earnings, and it's one of my rules. And Amazon came, and he said, you know what? I'm going to play earnings on Amazon. So I broke my rule. I played earnings, and as soon as earnings hit when the market closed, that thing tanked like 50 points.
Damn.
And I'm down about, I haven't looked at it. Well, I haven't looked at it, but last time I looked before the trading closed after hours, I was down to like $4,000. So,
oh shit!
Definitely a good lesson, man, for everybody to know, man. It's just, and I'm not saying that has to be one of your rules. I mean, it is what it is. If you like to trade earnings, then that's all for you. And some people do that,
Mm-hmm.
But it just goes to say, like, you get you a system that works, find you something that works, whatever works for you, and stay to it, man. I never trade earnings. I never do. And the one time I decided I was going to do it, look what happened.
Now tell me, Connor, what was it?
It's actually bouncing back a little bit. It kind of bounced back up a little bit, so I'm hoping it's going to recover a little bit, but we'll see.
Let me look at that. Let me look at this Amazon chart. But going into the trade, what was your expectation? Yeah, I see here where it just kind of fell off a cliff. I mean, what was your expectation going into the trade? What was your mind process thinking that hey, I don't usually do this, but I'm so sure of myself right now. This is what I'm going to do.
I had the Netflix thing in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And then I had, obviously I had Netflix in the back of my head. Then I had Amazon thinking, okay, there's been a bunch of hype around Amazon lately. I bet they're going to kill earnings, and it was just stupid for me to do because it's perfect for me to come up and I wanted to call in and tell everybody about this because I was just the one preaching about how you shouldn't play earnings. And it just goes to show no one's perfect. You're never going to be. But it just goes to show that when you have your set of rules, you stick to them. You should. And I messed up. I'm not perfect. I messed up. I screwed up. I shouldn't have did it. It's something I never do. And I'm not scared to admit that I messed up. I think everybody does it. But it cost me, and luckily I had a pretty good week, so it didn't hurt me that bad, but still, that's a good, 50 points. I figured, okay, worst is going to happen. It might drop a little bit, or it might just, I didn't think anybody was going to do the sell the news like Apple. I figured it might just go down a little bit or something if it didn't get good earnings or something like that. I didn't figure it was going to drop 50, 60 points,
Sure.
But it instantly started bouncing back. So
I do see here some, obviously some bargain people came in. Amazon at $8.15.
I'm kind of holding on. I'm kind of holding on and seeing. Oh wait, what's the price at right now?
Well, right now they closed at $818.36. So it got down to what, $8.15? It got down to $8.15.43.
And so the price got back up to where the market closed at?
Yeah, it's up to $8.18.36.
I'm all right then. I haven't looked at it. It actually, I'm down a little bit.
Where is it at right now, guys? Hold on. Let me find out. Let me find out here. Let me find out where it's at right now.
I know I got into 820 calls, I know they were a little bit out of the money. So I think the stock closed at around 818, like you said.
Yeah, let me
and it looked to me on that chart that
Amazon
maybe it dropped down and it came back up.
NASDAQ.com would have the price right. Oh shit, man. No, hold on. I think I lied to you, Connor. We're at 772 right now. That's the after hours price. That's the after hours price right now.
So wait, what's the price at right now?
772.
Yeah, see, I'm still down a little ways. Yeah, so I don't really play candlestick patterns that much. But the thing is, batches. I'm usually just I'm playing the intraday moves. I'm scalping the intraday swings. I'm not really holding moves for a day or two, so it doesn't. I don't really pay attention to candlestick patterns that much. I'm more or less just catching intraday swings. Little pops in the day.
There we go.
So it's very rare that I hold throughout a whole day. I'm just kind of scalping more or less with these options.
Mm-hmm.
But it costs me. It definitely costs me, and I think it is a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing to say. Yeah, straddles, man. Straddles are probably something good to play in the market right now. The SPY has been so indecisive, doesn't know what it wants to do. We've been in this range for I don't know how long. I was just telling my friend that, man, straddles right now are probably your best bet with options because the market's been so indecisive.
It doesn't know what it wants to do.
No, especially with the larger cap stocks.
Yeah.
What you're seeing is just a lot of chop in a lot of these stocks.
Yeah.
And there's no follow through on any of the. You got always going to have some stocks that are followed through, but the majority is they're really just the SPY is just all over the place. It's been in this range for I don't know how long.
Right.
It's been in this range for like a month or so now, but yeah, man, crazy.
There it is. Appreciate the call, Connor. Thank you so much, man.
Hopefully I'm hoping it's going to bounce back tomorrow.
I honestly think it will, man. At the end of the day, name a better online retailer right now than Amazon. At the end of the day, there's nobody out there that comes even close. If you're a smart investor, you've got a couple $100,000 on you. Amazon at $772. I mean, that's a screaming buy, man. That's you haven't been able to get
people
Amazon.
buy that up.
Oh yeah, man, you buy all that up. I mean, that's a price you haven't been able to get at for a couple months. So
that's why I got bought up so quick. Look how quick they got bought up. Yeah. But I made an awesome trade on Tesla today. I made a very, very awesome trade on Tesla today. So it really did. I mean, no matter the way you look at it, $4,000 is $4,000. It hurts,
sure.
I made a really good trade on Tesla today. I had a good feeling that Tesla was that big move. It was going to close some of that gap. I didn't expect it to close the whole gap. Tesla closed the whole gap. I mean, that thing made a huge move.
Yeah, Tesla was on
and it closed the whole gap. That thing tanked today. And so I got in on Tesla with some puts today, and I held for. I made a good trade on Tesla today. So that's kind of the reason that's also something that I want to say. That's kind of the reason of when you were asking me what I was thinking going into the trade. I had Netflix in the back of my mind, thinking how good it did. And then also I had a really, really good week. And then I just made a good trade on Tesla, so I was up a lot. So I was like, well, I got some cushion, which actually, when I think about it, I'm still mad that I broke one of my rules, because I usually don't do that. But usually when you have a cushion like that, you can try to speculate a little more, so I'm not that mad because I did have a good cushion, and I went into it thinking, okay, well, if I would have been, flat on the day or something or down on the day, I probably wouldn't have done it, but I went into it thinking, okay, I'm up pretty good already on the day. The worst that can happen is, maybe I lose a little bit and I still go home with a little profits today, or maybe it takes out all my profits. But it took out all my profits. I was up like $2,000.
Wow.
It took out all my profits plus another $2,000.
Yeah,
well, I didn't expect that.
That was crazy. I mean, that Tesla gave it away. All I mean, for a company of this magnitude, you think the great things they did, and the fact that this was the first time, guys, by the way, Tesla issued that they were profitable. This was the first time since this company started that they issued their profitability. And so this was supposed to be, game-changing news for the stock. So it's really interesting to see them, give it all back here, after a huge, bounce like that, because I do see that there is a lot of hesitation out there still with that Solar City deal, which we know Solar City is losing money, has been for a long time.
Yeah, anyway, these stocks are very expensive. They're even too expensive for me. I don't play the stock. I actually play the option, which I wouldn't consider jumping into that if you don't know anything about it. But if you ever do want to explore, it's a good way to play those stocks for a fraction of the cost. So, they're definitely too expensive to play the stock. I would never trade Amazon outright. Me personally, I don't trade stocks over 20, usually over 20. Sometimes I'll stretch it. Every now and then I might stretch it to 50, but usually I don't even play stocks over $10 unless I'm playing options.
It don't make sense unless you're a millionaire, honestly, to pay that.
If it's over $10, I'm usually not playing it. And then usually I don't trade options unless it's like over. Sometimes I might trade the ones that are like 20 and 50, depending on the names, because you got your Bank of America and your WIN and your MGMs that have liquid options. But a lot of those names that are like 20 and $50, the options aren't liquid enough.
Right.
They're really not. If you're doing a swing, then you're good. You can swing, can do a swing in them. But if you want to day trade those options, you can't. It's hard to day trade options if they're not liquid. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have to cross that. You're going to have to cross that bid. You're going to have to pay the ask. If there's no one to sell it to, you're going to have to buy for the market maker, and the market maker is not going to give you what you want. And when you go to sell that thing, you're not going to be able to sell it on the bid. You're going to have to sell to the market maker. The market maker is going to freaking pull that bid back. He's going to try to get you at a crap deal. You're going to be screwed. You really got to kind of know what you're doing when you're playing options that are not liquid. You kind of got to know how to lean in between. You kind of got to try to pull out you kind of got to go a little out and then cancel the order and see if there's maybe a couple schmucks that are just trying to get out. You kind of got to know what you're doing.
Otherwise, you're just going to have to limit a limit market order on the ask, because the market maker is going to give you a shit deal.
Right.
So it's hard playing options that aren't liquid, and then the spreads are going to be wide. I mean, it's just I don't like playing options with spreads. I mean, with that aren't liquid. Like you'll see the ones that aren't liquid, they'll have only a strike price every $5, or something.
Right. Something wide like that, or a couple, maybe 200 or 300 in terms of interest. So
yeah, man, you got to get those ones that have strike prices every 50 cents or whatever, and have a lot of open interest where you can sell on the bid and you can sell in between the bid and the ask. Otherwise, you have to cross that. You have to sell on the ask, man. And market makers are going to give you a shit deal.
There it is. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for
the call, man. Yep, cool. All right, Sal.
All right. Yeah, man. Real cool for Connor to call in and let you guys know that you got to really stick to your philosophy, man. You really got to stick to, how you trade and your own rules. He broke one of his own rules, and he's not even mad at himself because he he did the wrong thing. He knows. He just like, I did the wrong thing, and I know I did the wrong thing. And shout out to Connor for, calling and letting you guys know that's what you got to do. Stick to the way you trade and why, it works for you for a reason. All right. And Treasure Hunter, call back, man. I saw you try to call Treasure Hunter. 312, you're on the air.
Yeah, I want to know if you could tell me some information about the stock SWBG.
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 FW. There we go.
It's a new stock.
Frank, like F as in Frank, right?
Yes.
FWBG. It's not coming up on my list.
DG. D as in dog.
Okay, there we go. Future World Corp. What is that? Okay, OTC play. Don't know anything about this, man. It really looks real. Let me go to OTC markets to find out about this one. Now, what do you like about it? Why did it come to your attention?
Because it's a marijuana. They dealing with marijuana, and I knew marijuana would be going up this year.
All right, so just looking at it right now, I can tell you they're out. Looks like they're out of compliance right now in terms of filing. Let me see here. Future World Corp, a leading provider of advanced solutions to the cannabis industry. Okay, focuses on identification, acquisition, development, commercialization. Now, are you in the stock right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I was looking last year, they made it up to like 3 cents.
Okay, not bad, not bad. I mean, website is definitely a lot better than some of the stocks that are running right now. But yeah, I mean, if you can get, if the stock can get some people in there, so far it definitely looks like it needs significant amount of volume to move it. 120 million shares moved today, so you need a lot more people to jump into this. So,
and it's averaging 40, 50 million shares a day.
Yeah. But this is kind of like ERBB. It reminds me a lot of ERBB. A stock that looks like it's got about 1 billion, maybe 2 billion shares floating out there. So you need significantly more people to come into this play. So if you're in it now, I mean, you're sitting pretty. You're early. And if people come in after you, it's only going to benefit you. But so now all you have to really do right now is just kind of sit and wait. That's all you can do right now in that stock.
Okay, so that sounds good.
There it is, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
Okay, appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting pretty if he's in it now. Cannabis play looks like it hasn't done anything. So if you're just sitting in there accumulating shares, couple million shares, just wait for everybody else to show up. If they show up. If they show up, that's your situation right now. But that is, man, that's going to require a lot of people to come behind you, man. That's going to require a lot of people. But, look, ERBB, ERBB was one of those stocks. You can look at, ERBB. Let's look at the map for ERBB. That was one of those stocks. Sitting at 0001, not doing anything. And sure enough, the volume did show up. People did start getting tight with, their shares and holding on to them. And, the company became somewhat liquid. So, I know you guys looked at the stock and you're like, ugh, what is that? But, I mean, it could happen. It could happen. And ERBB, at, 0.0036 now? Obviously had a shitty day today, but, a return is a return. So, we'll see. We'll see. What's going on, Michael Greer? All right, Treasure Hunter, call me up, man. I saw you called again, but another guy beat you to it, though. Next call is Treasure Hunter. Call up, bro. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he's sitting pretty if he's in. And, again, that ticker, for those of you guys who care, FWDG, Future World Corp. Treasure Hunter, what's good, man?
What's happening, Sal? What's happening?
Man, it's been a minute since you've been on the show. What's been going on with you, bro?
Oh, man, I tell you, I've been busy. Breaking my truck, fixing my truck, winning some races, over here scuba diving, trying to spend some of this money I've been making on these stocks lately. Speaking of marijuana plays, let me see. You remember my ACBFF?
Yes, and man, I gotta give it to you, Treasure Hunter, because you were in weed way before we even,
that shit even popped off.
That shit even popped off, and I gotta give it to you. For those people who are in the chat room, you guys know this guy was calling about weed before we were even really talking about it like that.
Hey, believe me, I was scared to do it. I didn't want, SWAT to kick my damn door in, but they don't know which mansion I'm sliding through, but
there it is.
But what I was going to say, man, but this boils down to the bullshit plays and the good plays.
Yeah.
Now, everybody know that I'm kicked out of, what was that, E-Trade, was it? You know what I'm saying? But my time is almost up. Mm-hmm. But then again, when I went in my plays, I was preaching about it. Mm-hmm. So I went in deep and heavy with it. And thank God I did, because I caught it for the very, very, very low. And then over time I'm kicked out. This shit's still doing good, Yeah. A slow gainer now. It's not like the Nova. Oh, yeah. Then again, remember I told you it might not go super down. It might kick sideways.
Okay.
And that's what it's doing. Yeah, that's what it's doing right now. It's kicking sideways. So that is a very good stock. And another one I got for you is I'm thinking about getting into. You might want to look into ACTG. I don't know what's going on with that, but it caught my attention, if you know what I mean.
ACPGF?
No, ACTG.
I see ACPG, but...
No, TG.
Yeah, okay, Apple, C...
No. Go ahead, ACTG. That's a ticker.
Let me see.
No,
did you put it in the chat room?
It's like $6 and something popping off.
Cause I'm seeing an AC whatever, but I'm seeing it at something else. Put the ticker in the chat room, because I'm getting an AC. Put the ticker in the chat room if you can, because I'm seeing an OTC. It's an OTC stock. It's at like 30.
No, I don't think it is.
It's at like 34 cents. Actually, did pretty good.
No,
8%.
No, it's not the one.
No, APC? Yeah, okay, AP.
No, AC. C like in cat.
TG.
TG.
Acadia Fresh?
ACTG. I'm not too sure about this. You know me, I just do the charts.
Man, we finding every damn other company. It's so funny because all these tickets we putting in, they're all green though.
You like I said like 10 times. Right?
I know, but I'm finding a whole bunch of new companies typing in all these damn tickers.
Chat. Maybe I got to join this chat room sometime to type this stuff in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to type it in or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, shoot, man, but this shit's popping off too. But another one I want to talk to about is, bro, what is going down with Tops, bro? That shit, I remember back in the day, who pumped that up? That was that one, I forget his name. That one guy that teach
Oh, Tim Sykes?
Yeah, Tim Sykes. Yeah, he was pumping that thing up back in the day, and I think it was, what, $11, way up there.
Yeah, it got to like $9. That was back in August. Tim Sykes had put it as an alert. He put Tops as an alert, and that sucker ran for like no reason. And,
yeah, right.
But why? I mean, are you hearing a buzz about Tops again?
Hell no. I'm looking at it. I'm like, damn, $2. I'm like, what you think it might hit the back to $1 or 50 cents or something like that?
Well, I mean, look, the 52-week low. Yeah, the 52-week low is $1.30. So I mean, it could get back there. It was back there in July, so that's probably where it's headed. But you know, I expect Tops to do something in the meantime. At the end of the day, it's still a very low float, small company. That when, you know, good news drops, it does still spike really aggressively. But Tops is kind of one of those, you know, if there's news, it moves. If there isn't, then, you know, you're losing money on it.
Oh yeah, you definitely losing money on it. That's one of the trigger finger to eject.
Right.
I was just going through more tickers. I was like, damn man, that's just like $2 or something. But yeah, man, those are my plays right there, man. That ACBFF, bro. No shit, still banging. It's not the supernova right now. It's just a nice slow gainer. And that third play that you can't really, you know what I'm saying, the ticker on. And just let you know about the Tops, bro.
All right.
And I always, you know, if I don't call in, I check out your show the next day, you know.
Not a problem, man. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. It's just off the chain, bro.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So shout out to Treasure Hunter, man. Thanks for the call, man. Thanks for the call. So, you know, he likes that ACB EFF. You know, it's a good, you know, ACB Aurora Cannabis. And look, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You know, it's not for everybody. But it's a stock that Aurora Cannabis, and they also trade on the Toronto Stock Exchange too. They got a stock that trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange, ACBFF. The thing about that is that the stock right now trades at about 166 times earnings. So, you know, you got a lot of shorters who are just waiting, but obviously tonight, you know, now is not a time to short anything like that at all right now. And you can just look at examples like Can to see what could happen to you if you don't know what to do. But I do remember you guys bringing up that, you know, Can was shorted by Tim Grittani. A guy made like $52,000 on it or something like that. I think somebody in here said. So, yeah, yes, indeed. So it can go, you know, right and wrong. But sure enough, all these OTC plays that are over $1 that are running like this and don't have legitimate operations, trust me, the shorters are waiting. The shorters are waiting. And sure enough, I have set up an account at SureTrader. I got an account at SureTrader, got my account approved today, and I'm waiting because SureTrader, like Interactive Brokers, has a penny stock list of almost 10,000 OTC stocks that are shortable at SureTrader. Now, I have talked a lot of shit about SureTrader because they charge you money to take, you know, your fees out. But if you're an international investor and you can't get in with TD or Interactive Brokers for whatever reason, SureTrader is really the only way to go. All right, it's pretty much the only way to go. So I opened an account at SureTrader. I'll be telling you guys more about my experiences there as we move on. So I'm going to put like, I don't know, 1,000 in it or whatever, something I'm willing to lose. And I'm going to start shorting over there, and I'm going to see how it works out. I'm going to see how it works out and let you guys know about SureTrader. But other than that, I'm not saying, move from any broker that you have here in the States. Please do not do that. But if you want to short OTC stocks, and for those of you guys who can't get interactive brokers, there's got to be another option out there, and that's why I'm trying to figure out whether or not Short Trader can be that option. All right. Yes, indeed. We will see. We'll see. And DRWI, if you guys don't remember, not too long ago, this was the huge contract winner with Sprint. This was the huge contract sprinter with Sprint, and DRWI has slowly but surely given back some of its gains since that amazing day that it won that contract with Sprint. But we are showing oversold, close to oversold on the RSI. If you look at the day chart, you might get a little different than you get on the 5-day chart. On the 5-day chart, it's clearly oversold. On the daily chart, you're getting, it's close. It's close enough, and it still counts. But Dragon Wave Technologies, at the end of the day, when I read through the financials today, for what the company's going to get, this is a company changing contract. I mean, this changes everything for this company, DRWI. So I'm going to be watching this company very, very carefully. I think a bounce could be happening very soon here. And I do believe that the company is oversold. Now, is it the EKSO like I thought, from that stock yesterday? I don't know. But I would watch this tomorrow at 375, at 28 cents being shut off the stock today. I thought that was pretty severe. And sure, it was up high. Sure. I mean, it got up almost, $1, almost $2 a share on that one day alone. So some of it I expect to be given back. But if you really read what they're getting from Sprint, I think it justifies them being up there. So I'm going to put that on the list for tomorrow. And again, I'm labeling this as an oversold situation. EKSO was something different, but I think DRWI could be one of those plays where, and again, I'm kind of looking here where it bounced off support on the 21st. Here on 380, and we cracked that. So I'm interested to see what could happen ever since it cracked that support line, because when it does touch the RSI, it does have a tendency to bounce back. All right, when it does touch the lower band of the RSI line, it has a tendency to bounce back. So we're going to see what happens there in the stock, and you can see that several times where the stock puts on a good day when it does touch that bottom RSI line. So DRWI is one that I think you guys should look at. Okay. DRWI. Another great play is a steel play, MTL. Now this is a Russian steel company out of Russia that something happened. I don't know what happened toward the end of the day today. Well, it was just a huge dump. I mean, just a huge dump. Looks like the stock was going to close with a beautiful 10, 12% gain on the day. And then the stock just dumped out of nowhere. Just completely dumped out of nowhere. Ticker is MTL, Russian steel play. And this is a company that's going through a lot of restructuring right now. You can find out some news about it. You got a lot of comments by the CFO out there you can read. Also some mainstream articles you can read. Russian steel play has had a remarkable 90 days. I mean, you can look at the 90-day chart. This is the 90-day chart. Absolutely wonderful buy and hold situation. But just recently dumped off. So, yes, it is up there. But I expect it to continue going. Borderline PE, it's below 1. Almost 68,000 employees. It's got a $1 billion market cap. So still Still pretty raw. But at the end of the day, still the biggest steel company in Russia by far. They have no competition in terms of scale of operation in Russia. Okay. They are the largest and the leading Russian mining and metals company out there. Ticker is MTL. Yeah, I believe this is one of Putin's companies. In fact, when you Google a lot of information, you find out that he's got some ownership in the company, if I'm correct. But Putin is involved somehow in this company. I don't want to stress how, but I wouldn't doubt it if he has some ownership. I wouldn't doubt it. So MTL, another stock I think you guys should start watching as well. Okay. I'm looking at PTX. After the stock split, PTX has just been eaten alive. I kind of missed this opportunity here to get in on an oversold situation on that one. Thank God I missed that one, but thought possibly PTX on the reversal would be doing something, but it really hasn't moved since then. 702, you're on the air.
Hey, Sal, Jay.
Hey, Jay, what's going on with you, man?
Doing all right. I think I mentioned PTL last Friday. That was my swing trade for from last Friday, actually.
Yes, MTL. You mean MTL?
MTL, the steel company.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think I might have to claim that dump. Because I bought a lot of shares at $3.95 last Friday.
I mean, because this was huge. I mean, this was and again, this is the 1 day chart. I got the 1 day chart up here on the screen, and if you look towards, I mean, it could have been you if you had that many. After I think it was like 330. Yes, maybe 3.
I had 10,000 shares.
Yeah.
In NTL at $3.95. So that one I just held on to, and I bought some puts to cover my ass while I was on vacation, and just didn't tell anybody about that. So when I came back from vacation and it was trading almost above $5,
yeah.
I was like, as soon as this hit, top 5, I'm going to sell it at, 510.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end of day today, I started offloading 1,000 at a time, and it appeared to, I just wanted to trickle it like lightly so nobody would notice, I guess.
Mm.
But it looks like it when I staggered my they're called OCOs, ordered canceled orders, or it's order triggers on other orders. So if one order completes, you can send another order on trigger. So what I did was I sold it at 510, and if it sold, I would sell it again at 510.
Okay.
But if it didn't sell within a certain time frame, I would sell it, a cent or two less. So overall, my average on that sell was about $5.04 in the instant to drop 10,000 shares. And then I think because of that, during that time frame, it triggered a lot of people's stop losses or something, and just cascaded.
Oh yeah, I mean, because at those, again, when you're talking about at this level of trading, New York Stock Exchange, middle of the road stock, you do trade with those bots, and if you put in an order that catches their attention 1,000 at a time, that probably could be one of those at this price. That could, maybe affect the way some of these things think and get some other, traders to say, okay, well, what's going on here? Who's unloading and why? And maybe I should join in.
The beautiful thing about TD Ameritrade is that they have trigger orders. So they have orders that can trigger on other orders if the first initial order goes through. So I just set off a trigger order and just offload my 10,000 shares nice and slow. But I didn't expect that to crash 10, 20 cents.
I mean, almost 30 cents. I mean, we're talking, 510 to 489. So, I it's way oversold right now on the RSI, and I honestly think that this could be a nice bounce back into play tomorrow for the stock. But even though it closed at 489, still not bad for the stock.
So yeah, definitely. I mentioned this one last Friday, and I don't think anybody caught it because it was one of the last things that I mentioned. I'll bring up my watch list from last Friday to run it through again.
Not bad. So now, obviously, with everything the way it's going on, do you feel that it's still a decent hold? I mean, it's been an incredible hold for some time now. For the last 2 weeks or so.
Not so much. I remember this part when I was talking about coal and steel before I went on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling everybody to look at coal and steel, and this was one of the last steel companies, an STS that I mentioned. STS did all right. Kind of crashed at like 1166, but STS I ended up not trading. I just went with MTL, simply because of that enormous, what was it called, three white soldiers candlestick on the day chart. But overall, the fundamentals looks pretty good. But at the moment, I just think it's overweight.
Mm-hmm.
If someone were to trade this tomorrow, I think the best they can get is probably a 10 to 15 cent scalp. Not so much of a swing trade anymore because it's just way overextended.
Yeah.
But if those people in the chat who are still looking into coal plays and steel plays, those are still on the board. KOL, SLX, those are the ETFs I mentioned last week.
Yeah.
XC, which is Suncoke. Suncoke did phenomenal today. They gained 64 cents per share.
What's the ticker to that one?
Sierra X-Ray Charlie.
Okay, yeah. Suncoke Energy. Yeah, this is the not bad. It's been an awesome month for them, I see too.
Right. I mentioned this last Friday, so if people are gonna review this again, definitely listen to the call last Friday.
Yeah.
CLD, they didn't do that great. They're okay, but they only gained 7 cents today. SLCA was my very, very long swing trade. It's a $47 stock. Not very cheap, unfortunately. And PCK, also a channeling swing trade. Actually, for SLCA, now would be a good opportunity to catch the dip because it's at the lower support channel. But definitely do your due diligence if you're going to catch the dip on SLCA. The ATR is really nice at $1.61, so you can expect every 2 weeks to fluctuate about $1.50 per share. That's
now. What do you think about trading these? Because I see you mentioned PCK. I know this is the California Municipal Income Fund. So this is what PCA? Like the teachers. Yeah, is it PCA or PCK?
TCK, Tango Charlie Kilo. These are all coal plays, so if you see anything different from coal and steel,
okay, yeah. I'm looking at the California Municipal Income Fund. I'm like, wow. But it was running though. It was running, but the TCK, okay, Tech Resources, not bad. Yeah, that's a beautiful chart too, as well, for a nice little buy and hold situation. They're up almost $7 a share. Jeez. Yeah.
No, you have TECK. It's Tango Charlie Kilo. It's a $20 stock.
Yeah, $20. Yeah, 2089, right? Since.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the chart. Up almost $7 over the last 60 days.
Yeah, this is a swing trade, and it's at the top of the channel right now, top of the resistance channel. See, if you draw a line at all the higher highs and all the higher lows, you can pretty much map out how high or how low the channels are.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, this has been an awesome run for the stock TCK.
Yeah, it's a swing trade.
Yeah.
SLCA though is at the bottom of the channel, so if you're going to swing SLCA at the bottom channel, now would be a good time to do some due diligence and see if it'd be appropriate to get in.
Mm-hmm.
As for MTL, the Russian company, that's more of a day trade if those guys are into the volatility and swinging and scalping the volatility in the intraday.
There it is.
So yeah, I exited my crazy MTL swing today, and I was playing a little bit on Ocwen Financial Corp, the mortgage investment, OCN. I think you mentioned that a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, what's that ticker again?
OCN.
OCN. Oswin, I don't think I mentioned this one, but yeah, this is another stock that was up huge today.
Okay.
OCN up 17%. I think it's actually one of the biggest gainers today on the market as well for the New York Stock Exchange.
This one didn't treat me so nicely. I was holding it at like 410 or something, and it was having trouble throughout the day, breaking 422, and finally when I caught the break and went up to like 440, I just didn't bail out. I broke one of my rules in this one. I should have took my gains, but looking back on it and not taking gains, I totally knew I broke one of my rules when it came back down and it couldn't make it back up to what it normally was. So I only made it out with, I think, 10 cents on per share.
Oh wow!
10 cents gain per share instead of 30-cent gain per share.
This is a stock that was up on earnings wins, right? It looks like they crushed earnings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not bad. OCN, 60 cents today. Now, do you think this can keep running, or is it a multiple-day run, or you seeing them giving it back tomorrow?
I think it's a multiple-day run because when it closed today, the day candlestick has an extremely long upper shadow. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of losers upwards in the 440s.
Right.
And if they're not losers up there, they're probably shorters, and they're going to buy to cover soon. Sure. We can expect a squeeze on this.
Yeah.
So this is definitely good to look at tomorrow, OCN, for the volatility. Its volatility right now tracks around 8%.
Okay. Yeah, huge.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah, huge gap up there in the morning too. Not bad.
And this is the thing about these earnings. See, most people are kind of like not quite sure on how to trade earnings. Mm-hmm. There's several ways to do it. I think I might have screwed up with Amazon today too. My technique may be a little bit different from others, but what most people tend to do is they like to accumulate a bunch of shares prior to earnings, mm-hmm. 2 or 3 days prior to earnings, and then sell right the day before earnings, right? On the day. Because usually it's either like a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and options expire Friday. So that's what most people do, sell on the day. That's why when you see most earning days, the day of earnings, the stock price will decline at an incredible high number of volumes traded. More risky investors or traders like to hold through earnings, which is incredibly risky because you don't know what the outcome of the earnings are going to be, right?
If you're not careful, right?
You can go extremely high or extremely low. But what I like to do is I like to place a buy at probably 1 or 2 times the price of volatility. So for Amazon, for me, I put a limit buy at 753 because that's what it roughly traded last quarter. Last quarter it was trading around, I think, 740, and after earnings it jumped up to 760. So I figured reasonably the support level of 753 was pretty nice. Nice mark underneath 2 times volatility, which came out to be around 9%.
Mm-hmm.
So I put one a buy order at 753, and when earnings came out, I was like, crap, because it tanked,
dumped,
right?
Yeah, it just tanked on
itself.
itself.
So I was like, crap, I didn't expect this to get filled. So here I am with 100 shares of stupid Amazon at 753. I did not even expect that to be filled, right? So I did that with AMD as well, and it worked out, luckily in my favor, and it tracked back up, and I sold it. But this time, I can get back home in time on my computer to sell my stupid Amazon shares. So I'm stuck with it till tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, we had Connor call up and talk about that situation with Amazon, and there are a lot of people who played it, and sure enough, it's at 771 right now on the bid, man. 771.65 on the bid. That's almost $50 from where it closed. $50 lower from where it closed at. So couple billion being shed off the Amazon stock right now. So, but I expect all that to be made back, man. I honestly believe that there are going to be some bargain hunters in Amazon tomorrow. So I would not be surprised if we see a ugly open, but a really great run for Amazon tomorrow.
Amazon right now, I'm only up, theoretically unrealized $2,000, but I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if it's going to crash on me or anything. So this is very risky and unfortunate in my scenario.
Sure.
But definitely for tomorrow, if I do manage to get out of it, I'll be definitely looking at OCN again. OCN is on my top of the list, as well as my standard gold plays, my triple leverage ETF JNUG, and the steel plays I mentioned last Friday. Why I mentioned the steel plays is, do you guys remember how during the third debate there's a section where Trump and Hillary debated on how Trump built his buildings on Chinese steel and the steel workers of America.
I do remember that.
How Ken Bone, asked that question about how to keep environmentally friendly while having steel workers still maintain their jobs. So I think this is one of those hidden market issues that are going to be constantly cycled, and we'll see what happens when the election comes through. Because if either one of them becomes president, the steel industry is gonna feel a heavy hit, as coal as well. And I was also looking at another ticker that IPO'd last Wednesday that I totally forgot to get in. It's CRISPR. Remember me mentioning?
Yeah, I
CRISPR?
remember you saying something about that stock. I'm sure the people in the chat room would remember that too. What's the ticker of that?
It's CRSP, I think. It's let me look for it.
Yeah, CRISPR Therapeutics. Okay.
Yeah. So I was talking about how this is like a gene modification therapy where you can modify genes of living animals as well as like mosquitoes, so you can treat some sort of disease, right?
That's some Jurassic Park type shit.
So this IPO'd at $14, and they said that in the initial public offering statement that it would supposed to be traded between $13 and $16. Well, in the past couple days, this thing went crazy. It went nuts. I think it went up to $17 at one point.
Almost touched $17.50. I see up there.
So I'm thinking in the long run on this particular play, because it's a new developing technology and there's a lot of market opportunity behind it. Because the only two other competitors behind this company is Edit. It's I think it's called Edita. It's also another gene modification therapy company, Editas, Editas. Their ticker is EDIT.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also another gene modification company that I can't recall at the top of my head, but there's only 3 companies right now, 3 biotech companies that is doing gene modification. So if you were to get into one of the 3, or CRISPR, I can expect maybe this month or next month to see some crazy returns on this, because who knows where they're going to go from here, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that is the future, gene modification and everything that it stands for, you know. But obviously, we who knows where that technology can lead us as humans. But you know, yeah, it is the future. I definitely believe that.
I did do some due diligence on CRISPR. One of their works in the pipeline is treating hemophilia. That's when you get a cut, your blood does not clot and just keep bleeding. So I think they're in the process of treating that very simple condition first, and then we'll see where they can go from there.
There it is.
All right, that's all I got.
Appreciate it,
I still got some more research to do before the close of the night.
Appreciate it. Thanks you so much for the call, Jay. All right, so shout out to Jay for the call, man. You know, always giving us great tickers, great information. And yeah, I mean, he was right on the money when it comes to, you know, MTL. But I want to keep watching that one. I want to keep watching MTL. We're definitely going to watch his CRISPR here. But MTL, I'm going to watch that one because, man, that was a very, very impressive run for the stock. I mean, from the two nothings all the way up to the 5s, now it's going sideways. Looks like some of our marijuana plays we've been, you know, looking at for the last couple of days. That's what it looks like. But obviously, you know, a lot more stable company. And, you know, who is it to tell that this is a stock that might not go higher? It looks like it's been depressed for quite a long time. And, in fact, if you spread the chart out, this is the 5-year chart. You got to go all the way back to 2013 to see some of the prices where it's at now. See, as we can see here, so this was a huge breakout for the price. And looking to see we're kind of break through that. All right, so this stock has not seen these kind of prices for almost 4 years. Almost 4 years now. So MTL, I would keep watching it. I'm gonna keep watching it for the next couple of days to see what happens here. So we're gonna put a list on that. And yeah, Sinclair, I do see you've been talking about STM. I do see some people put up CRDP. Was that CRDP as well? Somebody brought that up. STM. Yeah, Sinclair, what do you like about that? Looks like it's in a channel here. Looks like it's in a channel that is trying to break itself out of. In fact, let me look at the gap up here on earnings. Looks like earnings comes out tonight. Did earnings already come out? All right, so it came out yesterday, which was interesting because here's a company that misses on earnings and it gaps up higher. How was that possible? They must have killed on something else. STM Microelectronics. Let me see if I can get the STM Microelectronics. All right, so the stock misses and still gaps up higher. It had a profit of 8 cents a share. All right, but the street was expecting 11 cents. Actually, the street was expecting 12 cents a share. But sure enough, you know, the company still posted revenue of $1.8 billion for the period. All right, $1.8 billion. That's a lot of money, folks. That is a lot of money. Now this is a, you know, it's a penny stock, but it's a very mature company. It's a $7 billion company. So, you know, this is not an OTC stock, ladies and gentlemen. The company has over 43,000 employees. The PE is pretty high too, almost 94 on the PE. So definitely not a cheap stock, but a stock that gaps up higher even on bad news, which is really interesting. Even on bad news. You know, even on bad news. And by the RSI, it looks like it could still possibly go higher if we go by the RSI. Really interesting there. Really interesting there. Yeah, what was that CRDP? Was that the stock you guys were talking about here? Royal Lion, you brought up CNBX. Yeah, CNBX is on our list for, CNBX. Let me see, CNBX. Yeah, CNBX. Yeah, CNBX is going to be on the list for tomorrow. CNBX, and again, this was the stock that was up 59% today. 59%. I've already kind of talked to this one to death, so that's going to be on the list for tomorrow as well. CNBX. But I know earlier today we were also looking at CNGX, if that's correct. CNGX? No, okay, that was CNBX. Okay, I did mean CNBX. All right, but yeah, CNBX is definitely going to be on the list for us to discuss. All right. QTM beat earnings and tanked 12%. And that's really interesting because you bring that up, Adam, because QTM was actually the surprise of the market several months ago for earnings. QTM, if you go back to its earnings a couple months ago, nobody expected the stock to do as well as it did. And sure enough, if you remember here back in July, it beat earnings and by 3 cents and ran pretty high the next couple of days, as you can see here. All right, ran really aggressively, but sure enough, it missed earnings and okay, hold on here. Did it miss earnings or beat earnings? Let me see. QTM. QTM, by the way, guys, penny stock. QTM, it's had a pretty decent chart. It's had a pretty decent chart, but it's just been very, very slow. It's been, pretty slow, but it's got a very decent looking chart. All right, breaking over some previous resistance here going back into 2015. But QTM been slowly working its way out of this hole. Again, this requires a lot of patience, man. This requires a lot of patience. Requires a lot of patience. But obviously, the patience and patient investors really do win, and that chart shows it. But yeah, the stock's been taking a tumble today. But again, showing oversold on the RSI, so I would look at that. I would really look at that tomorrow. All right. Took a dump today, but I would look at that tomorrow. 8% on a stock that's been running relatively well. So QTM, 87 cents a share. Can we ride it back up another 10 cents? I think tomorrow I'll find out whether or not, investors see what we see possible in the stock. But I see a stock that obviously, has ran really good over the last couple months. And didn't really miss it too bad, but I'm not showing that it missed. It's actually saying that it beat earnings. Yeah. 430. Yesterday, Quantum beats by 2 cents, beats on revenues. So why did the stock tank? I don't know. But, Connor came on the air and Jay was just on. He says shit like that happens. Quantum Corp. Let me see. Quantum Corp. Yeah, company beat earnings, but still went down. Mr. Lloyd, you're on the air.
Man, I got to throw my 2.5 cents into this, man, because I played earnings twice, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be, man. I mean, I can't understand how, even if they beat earnings, it still goes down. So it's like you never know. Mm-hmm. You never know what the market's going to do when earnings comes through. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, I probably would have bought a Amazon option, when it came out. And the reason being is because when you think about all the products they have and all the, it seems like they're including more things, and you would think they would be their revenue, will be increased by tenfold, man. And it's it really shocked me, just like AMD, to see that they missed earnings. And so, I mean, how often have you played earnings in your career as a trader?
Well, remember, we started off the show playing earnings. In fact, that was one of the things I used to really do aggressively, because if you guys remember from the show, from the first episodes, really, Sprint and AMD, and after I had met Jay, and Jay came on the air and talked about AMD, and I was already following Sprint, I held all the way through earnings because Jay was very positive about it. So we were excited about it, and I held all the way through earnings. I mean, shit, I could have lost everything. I had a couple thousand, almost like $5,000 running on AMD, and could have lost a significant amount of capital. But, it worked in our favor and did very well. In fact, I sold too early because if you remember, AMD ran after last time, continued on running to where it's at now. So, I mean, it's been a stable of mine, but in these markets where you're just never sure, things could go wrong.
Right, man. I don't know how you can study earnings as far as like you can study charts. I mean, there's no way you can really prepare yourself for it unless you work inside the company. I mean, do you have a method that you use to kind of determine or gauge if a company is going to do well when these charts come out, or as far as not at all. But
sometimes when you're talking about more established companies like AMD and Sprint, you can read by some of the articles that come out, by some of the things that the company had been doing since its previous earnings cycle. Whether they have new products, new services, that you say, okay, this is really going to affect the bottom line. For example, AMD had released certain chips that were comparable to more expensive chips that a competitor had. And they had already been releasing statements saying that, sales are really affecting the bottom line, and they're really promising, and they're really excited about the sales of the new product. So, and in terms of Sprint, we were excited about that because we had saw how aggressive Sprint was marketing itself. They were talking about how they were coming out with, they had hired the guy from Verizon. They had came out and said that they were looking at a one flat rate fee. So, and they were already trying it in the Pittsburgh area where people were already getting, iPhone 6s at a flat rate, $60 a month, unlimited talk, text, and web, already trying it out there. So they were already really showing that they were really excited about going into, earnings. So you just kind of get a hint by reading what's already out there about the company and what the company's putting out. But yeah, you can get faked out by that too. We were just lucky. But as Blueberry just said in the chat room, guidance, sales, and revenue is kind of the most important. It kind of gives you an idea of what could possibly be in the works for earnings.
Now, my last question for you. My last earnings play was that I'm still in is CBK. Now, have you ever got tanked in the earnings and had to hold on to it at least to try to, for several months to try to get some of those gains back, or do you just normally just exit out right away?
I typically exit out right away because, the high of the day on a good earnings win is typically like the high for the next 2 weeks. I mean, you'll go back and you'll see that was the high of the day for the high of the stock for the next almost week and a half sometimes. Until the stock eventually kind of works its way back up there. But, if you lose on an earnings play, right, so you get in, you lose big time, depending on, one, how aggressive or how established the company is, whether or not the fall was overly, unjust. Sometimes you have, again, like Amazon today right now. I mean, that's a bargain. $7.77 for Amazon. That's a steal. You know what I mean? They're going to jump all over that. So you're going to see people who lose on that. They're just going to hold out, and they'll be right back and sell for nothing, or may even get a gain out of it if depending on how long they hold. So it all depends on how what people see in the company. Of course, when it does come out on earnings, how badly did they really fail? If it's kind of those situations where it's dire, more dire than people expected, then it could never recover.
Right.
If so we'll see. We'll see.
Right. All right, man. Yeah, I just wanted to share the love. I got in at 206, and now where is it right now? 130.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been about a month or so since earnings, so I don't know. I mean, half the profits are just gone, and I'm just kind of lingering around.
CBK, you're in at 130, you said?
No, 206.
Oh, 206. Okay.
So
CBK. Yeah, man. This again. Looking at. So it missed it by 60%. Earnings -10. The street was expecting -6. Again, this was a situation where, the situation was more dire than expected. So the company, the street expected the company to be losing money, but they posted that they were losing more than what even analysts projected they were losing. So that again would be considered a dire situation where they're waiting for the next earnings to show, okay, now that you guys were in that situation, what did you do to make up from it? And so if you hold into the next earnings, then you're either going to make up or have at least an opportunity to start getting on the trajectory to make up those losses, or you risk also the company posting saying, we haven't gotten better. In fact, things have gotten worse, and your losses could, actually continue to add up.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to hold my breath on this one, man. Hey, I appreciate it, and see you tomorrow, Friday.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for the call, bro. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, sometimes it can work its way back up, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. And if I'm Mr. Lloyd, I would cut losses. I wouldn't risk going into the next cycle. I mean, because it's a 50-50 chance that, it's either going to, I don't know. I personally probably would cut my losses, because if the company posts another terrible earnings number, then you're talking about, how low do you go from 136? Stock's trading at $1.36. Now you're talking about, possibly going down below $1 if you're not careful. IMNP up 7% today, 38 cents on what? Okay, received FDA guidance for their phase 3 trial. Okay, so a trial winner for IMNP. And IMNP was getting beat up. It's been getting beat up for a long time, so looks like the stock needed this. And IMNP up 38% today. I'll put it on the list for tomorrow just because, could it be a multiple-day runner? But it looks like it's showing oversold here on the RSI. So we'll see. Yeah, it's nice and tight, but it's showing oversold here. But hold on, that's let me look at the 1-day chart. All right, still kind of up there though. And for the most part, obviously, if you weren't already in the stock, you really didn't make any money on it, because it's pretty much sideways the whole time, moving in between the zeros. So you really didn't get a chance. And I kind of hate when stocks do this, when they gap up for the day. And for the most part, you really didn't, a few times, maybe if you zoom in here, 24 to 26. But, I mean, you need a ton of shares to make this a profit for you. But, hey, some people can do it. You got it at 24. Maybe you sold it at 26. Get, 10,000 shares at 26 cents. That's not too much. And at 35, cut at 25. Okay. You never know. Yeah, but IMNP, I would watch that tomorrow. See, maybe, again, people come home from work. They see these gains. And, they look, hey, let me drop some money into it. So tomorrow, who knows what could happen? Tomorrow. So I'll definitely add that on the list tomorrow for these stocks. So our list so far right now, we've got a lot of higher priced stocks on the list. Not too expensive, but, a lot of stocks that necessarily aren't in the pennies. But we're about to go back into the pennies and start looking at what we think could run tomorrow, guys. All right. Another play. I'm not yet ready to go back into commodities, but I am watching commodities. I am watching commodities. So I would say, if I were you guys, keep watching the gold and silver plays, they're dirt cheap right now, and they're getting cheaper every single day. And as soon as we start hearing any kind of talk about Federal Reserve, this and that or whatnot, be ready to pounce on those. All right, because I really want to make sure I catch the next thing running, because weed will eventually die out. But we know commodities always kind of goes and comes, and I don't want to miss the next run in commodities. I really don't. We've got a lot of dirt cheap penny plays in commodities, legit companies, GPL, for instance, Great Panther Silver. This was a stock that used to run, used to put up stupid numbers way back when, earlier in the year. Look at that chart earlier in the year. So obviously commodities have slowed down, but I don't want to miss the next run. And that's Great Panther Silver. So we got a lot of other little OTC plays out there that are running. Yeah, silver is cooled down, gold is cooled down. But when those come into play again, we know who the winners are. We want to be there. We definitely want to be there. Michael Greer. I don't know if Michael Greer is still in the house. I don't know, Michael Greer, do you want to talk about PGN PQ? I know it's going to be a very important day for the stock tomorrow. I don't know if you're still watching at all, Mr. Greer, but PGN PQ, we're going to be watching that. We're going to be watching that. And I have been watching it ever since the 24th. So we know that this court situation can be handed down anytime, any day now. So PGN PQ, I'm still watching it. Yes, indeed. All these Qs run. All these Qs run. So I'll be watching PGN PQ. AMRS. Yeah, AMRS again. This is the EpiPen play. This is the EpiPen play. Sideways day to day, but I know you still like it, Adam, and I still like it too. I still like it as a long too. So it's dirt cheap. Still dirt cheap. I really would love to see some new news come out of here so we can scare away any shorters who think they can jump in here. At these whole numbers like $1, you get a lot of people who think they can jump on heavy, take a heavy short position in stocks like this that are like just above 1, because they can buy a ton of shares. And if the stock crashes 20 cents, that's a huge win. That's a huge win. So I'd love to see AMRS drop some news to scare some people off here. Yes, indeed. Demond Stokes, DGLY, Digital Ally. If I'm not correct, this was the let me see, Protect America. Hold on here. This is a really interesting article. Supposedly let me see here. Notable orders for body cameras. Okay, DGLY. I don't know. I think there's some better plays on there, but I would watch DGLY. DGLY has been a runner in the past, as you can see here from the chart. This is a stock that has ran in the past, but it's cooled down a lot. It's cooled down a lot. That was a while ago now. That was a while ago now, but DGLY does do its thing when it wants to. When it wants to. Compliance completion is Monday. Went to punch. Took a hit, but released SEC filing. Okay. Yeah, I'll put AMRS because I think, again, some good news can really drive that price higher. I would love to get 50 cents on a play like that, and it could do it. It could really do it. It could really do it. CNBX we talked about. ACTG. Yeah, ACTG was a stock that we had talked about when Treasure Hunter called up, and I just somehow ran up on this stock. Just typed it in. Don't know anything about it, but a 30 cent gain puts a smile on my face, and the chart doesn't look too bad either. Chart doesn't look too bad, but very, very slow. Very, very slow. Very, very, very slow. All right. Okay, so again, going back to some of the weed plays, when we talk about what's oversold, okay, what's oversold on some of these plays, I still like MJNA. Yes, it's down 7% today, but this is a stock that's been very resilient. I mean, there are opportunities in the stock where the stock was down, and it's been it has taken huge hits as it's gone up. But the fact of the matter is that it tends to bounce back. So I still like MJNA. And again, this is one of those companies that I think when we talk about like the talented 10th, I think they're like, out of all the marijuana stocks that are run, there's like a talented 10th, right? A 10th of all the marijuana stocks that I honestly believe that will run after it's all said and done. After California passes, what's that, like Prop 67 or something like that? Prop 70, whatever it is. And there's a lot of fear-mongering going on in California. I hope that bill passes. We need legal marijuana in California, okay? That's billions of dollars that people of California need. The people of California need. People in California need that money, okay? California has gotten to a situation where, I've been there 2 times in my life. And every time California has gotten better for the wealthy and it's gotten worse off for everybody else. The schools are terrible. If you're not rich, the schools are horrible. If you're not rich in California, the schools are horrible compared to some of the nicer areas and what those schools get. Those schools need that money, and they need to pass that marijuana bill. It's got to pass. California is one of the biggest markets in the world by itself. If California was its own country, it'd be one of the top economies in the world. In fact, one of the top 25 in the whole world. So can you imagine some of these cannabis companies, being able to take advantage of that big of a consumer base? Beautiful location, beautiful weather, cannabis. Oh my God. That's billions of dollars of opportunity right there. That's going to be huge. Yeah, Adam, we out of that. I talked about NEWC. I broke some of my own rules with that. I could have, I broke some of my own rules with that one. Horrible play. It was a situation where, again, I had hesitations going in there because of compliance issues. It's just, there just so many other better plays. MGNA is one of them. One that I started in SRNA. Again, another reliable play. SRNA, a stock. What is it? Barely 1% loss today, when so many other stocks, shitted on themselves. SNRA, a legitimate company with a legitimate operation. Right? A company that literally makes sense in the marketplace, has a place within the marketplace, doing very well, 22 cents. And I still think it's a long-term play for somebody if you play it right. All right? Still think it's a nice little play for somebody. All right, but we got a couple MJNA stocks that I still think could do very well. The Qs, Almighty Vice Lord. We like all the Qs here. So we're going to put up the list here in just a minute. And because I know you guys got some other things to do. But yeah, Soon Q, 16%, 3 cent gain today on the stock. But I'm still looking for Lin Q. And this, again, we talked about this yesterday. Lin Q. I still think it's got, obviously volume is a little on it, as you can see some of the gaps in the chart, but I still think this could be a situation where Lin Q or Lin Energy could run. Obviously, out of all the marijuana, out of all the Qs, I like Michael Greer's play and BBEPQ. BBEPQ looks like it's restoring itself. BBEPQ is restoring itself, which is really interesting because this was a stock that I was giving up on. As you can see here, I was starting to give up on this stock because it had broke what I believed was important support line at 39, and sure enough, it's worked its way back up there. So shout out to BBEPQ. EPQ and people who bought it below 30 because you're up almost 10 cents a share now. And you look like you might retest that 49-cent line here in the next couple days. All right. BBEPQ. Found some support there. So shout out to people who still playing BBEPQ. Yeah, SRNA is a legit play. Still very, very legit play. But when I look at some of these companies that were oversold, man, yesterday, looking at what could run tomorrow, Cebus 12% today. If you look at, let me see, if we look at Cebus on the RSI, it doesn't necessarily say oversold on the RSI though. Doesn't necessarily say oversold on the RSI though. ERBB, now I know, we've talked about this earlier in the show, but ERBB, 21% loss today. And by the way, it was actually higher. It was in the 50s at about, we talked about this at about 11. It was in the 50s, but ERBB worked its way back up. But that was a stock that was down almost 50% today. IFAN, that shitted on people today, man. So if we want to talk about rebounds, it could be IFAN. If we want to talk about rebounds, it could be IFAN. He's not even showing really that low on the RSI, though, but could be IFAN. God, I hate candlestick charts. I just can't stand candlestick charts, man. All these little gaps in the... There we go. Bring back the lines. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. ORGI. I think we had talked about this not too long ago. Oh, not that one. ORGI. Not sure what ticker that is, man. I'm not seeing a ticker under that. So horrible play, IFAN, for people who were in the stock yesterday. But if you see another red day coming and you've already had a couple days of red, man, get out that stock, man. Just get the hell up out of there. Get the hell up out of there. Sprint. Let me see how my CHK is doing. CHK still not bad, hanging up on the sixes. ORIG. Okay, that's what he meant. ORIG, the NASDAQ up 10% today. ORIG. What do you like about ORIG? Yeah, it looks like it's, hasn't had the last, great couple months, but it's working its way back up there. Looks like it's working its way back up there. I mean, let me see, the 5-day chart doesn't look too bad. 5-day chart looks actually pretty good if you've been in since Monday. I mean, you're up almost 20 cents a share since Monday, so it's not too bad. 10% gain today. PE below 1. Wow. 2,000 employees, a PE ratio below 1. So technically the stock is dirt cheap though, Jay. The stock is dirt cheap, man. I mean, it's got a PE ratio less than 1. So, if we want, the stock is actually dirt cheap according to, But again, I haven't looked at the financials. We'll see what happens. Yeah, OWCP. I still like OWCP. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, because if these stocks run red tomorrow, then you've got to say, okay, I think this game is over. Because after tomorrow, if the weed plays a red, then the people who've been in it for the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, who have these incredible gains on their brokerage accounts, they're closing their positions next week. They're closing it. So you're going to get shit on next week. So tomorrow is going to be a very, very decisive day for marijuana, because marijuana has to show that 3 days of red is way too much. Way too much. Okay. Vaughn, you can look at otcmarkets.com. Go to otcmarkets.com, and you can type in the ticker, and you can follow their financials. In fact, I'll make a video about that this weekend, because I know there are some people who don't want to look at financials and don't know how to find financials of companies. They don't know how to do that. Okay. Let me see. RFMK. Somebody had brought up RFMK. Rapid fire marketing. That was that Surge Force guy. He called up the show, started the show with RFMK, and then the stock takes a shit on itself. So you got to be, careful with new people sometimes, guys. They come in here, hey, guys, this stock is going to run to the moon. It's this. But, it is what it is, guys. Because sometimes you call it right and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you call it right and sometimes you don't. All right, we all have hit or miss, but the next couple days are really an opportunity to see the truth. We'll see. We will see. I still won't count any of these out. I still would not count any of these marijuana plays out. It's just been 2 shitty days. It's been 2 shitty days. ONCI. ONCI, 20% gain. Don't know much about it, but you tell me about ONCI. 913, you're on the air.
What's going on, Sal? This is me, Dave, the barber from Kansas, man.
Hey, Dave, the barber from Kansas. Yeah, the guy that we told to get out. We hope that you got out the stock, man.
You know what? Hey, I got out this morning.
Good.
At 12:65.
Uh-huh.
I went back in.
Uh-huh.
And doggone it, when I went back in, buddy, I went in at 0.57.
Uh-oh.
And right when I went in, that son of a gun dropped all the way back down to 4.
Yeah.
And it stayed around 4 all day.
Oh.
But I went in with 20,000 shares, man.
Damn.
So it had me screaming, but I feel kind of good. I think it's going to hit that again tomorrow sometimes, and I'm probably going to pull on that.
So hold on. Are you saying that all the money you made, you gave it back?
Well, I gave back. Yeah, basically I did.
Damn.
I gave it back. Yeah, because I went in and got 20,000 shares on it.
Damn.
And,
no, I'm curious though. I mean, you sold for a profit. What made you want to jump back in? I mean, what made you want to do that?
It was raising. It was going up. And I said, okay, let me go down here, put this in, and see what I can get. But when I did it, the minute I did it, it was around about 12 o'clock when I did it, it shot down. The minute I pressed that button, it shot all the way down. And I'm like, whoa. But I do believe it might have a pickup in the morning, and I'm going to pull out of there. It might be $100, $200. I'm going to pull on out.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
Now, what was the ticker to that again?
That was the doggone
AGTK. Okay.
Yeah, and that MJNA, I pulled out of that yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just been hanging around about 11 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had me hollering. I had that deep scream, like So. But let me ask you something. Now you was like, I told you I was going to pull out.
Sure.
And that's what I did. And like I said, if I would have stayed in there, it probably would have shot up to about maybe close to $2,500. And because it shot up. And I'm like, whoa, okay, but I pulled on out. So I'm just going to wait till tomorrow morning and see what it do. And if I can get that back, I'm going to pull that back out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought I'd give you a call on that.
Appreciate it,
man. Know that
we'll see.
I'm in the red again.
Yeah. But the problem is that you were in the green, though. I mean, when you're in the green, I want you to get that green. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I wasn't, okay, let me ask you. I wasn't supposed to go back in there?
No. I mean, take your money and I mean, when I take profits, right? I never typically go back in the stock the same day because I've done research to a point where it's gotten to where I want to sell, right? But I haven't done any research to say where it's going to go from where I jump back in. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't. The whole idea of making profit and then going back into the same stock the same day, 9 times out of 10, you haven't done the research since you sold to see where it makes sense for you to jump back in and where you're going to be getting out at.
Okay. But see, like I told you, I've been making money off that for the past 2 weeks. Make some money. I make some money, go right back in. Make some money, go right back in. Make some money, go right back in. And I've been doing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, because these stocks have been running beautifully for the last 2 weeks. So that I mean, for all intents and purposes, even if you were horrible at trading, you can still make money the way some of these weed plays have been running. But now with them, you know, people starting to take profits and stuff like that. Now it becomes like, okay, now you really got to pay attention to these charts and how they're responding, you know, to the way people are buying.
Okay. Let's hope I can get out of there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is really the day, man. Because I'm telling people, because if it's another big red day tomorrow, you can almost assure that next week it's going to be all red. Because if you've got, I mean, think about it. If you're in some of these stocks, you're up 700, 800%. You know, now you watch that decline now, maybe 100. Now it's like, ooh, man, I don't want that 5,000 to just disappear like that. I don't want that 7,000 to disappear like that. So you know what? You already the whole weekend, you can't wait to get to Monday because you want to save what you've made. So, and for those of the people who've got in a couple $100, oh, it's over. It's over if there's not green up tomorrow.
Okay. Right. Okay, so that's what I do. I mean, if it gets even close to the mark, I'm gonna pull. Yeah. I might lose 100, but right now, man, I'm down like $160 right now.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow, man. You know, let's see.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, it's a Friday. It's pretty busy in the shop. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I got my eyeballs on the stock.
Oh man.
Yeah, so man. Okay, man. Thank you. I'm gonna keep calling. You know, like I said, I'm a youngster in this, man. Hey, I'm having fun.
I'm wishing you a green day, though. I'm wishing you a beautiful RSI 30. All these momentum people jumping in and taking your stock back up to another 50%. I mean, like we had a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
A couple days ago.
Okay.
Really. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, you have a good night, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the call,
and
man.
I'll talk to you. All right, buddy.
All right. Yes, indeed. The barber out of St. Louis, if I'm correct. Out of St. Louis. Yes, indeed. Yeah, everybody hates their barber on the phone, you know, when their barber is on the phone. Or barber's, you know, eating. I don't know what it is about my barber. Every time I show up, dude is eating something. You know, I'm sitting in the chair. It's time for me to get my hair cut. Yo, man, let me get this chicken real quick, though, okay? Let me get this chicken meal real quick. And real quick turns into like 30, 45 minutes. Like, motherfucker, if you don't eat that damn breast and hurry up and get this hairline right, you know? AKDS. Yeah, AKDS, they're still working on it, man. They're still working on it. It's coming. It's coming. AKDS. It's coming. They are getting a promo ready on AKDS. Trust me, it's coming. All right. Don't jump in it now. I'm saying that. I'm just saying there is a promo coming on that. Okay. Yes, indeed. Prop 64. Yeah, Prop 64 was the thing in California. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and post up the list. You guys know tomorrow's Friday show. We getting real close to the election, man. We getting real close to the election, guys. We about to have another president, man. Obama's about to be out. And by the way, Obama, I've said it here several times. Obama's going to be worth $100 million in the first. By the end, I'd say by the end of year 2 after he's president, Obama should be worth at least $100 million. He should be worth at least $100 million because they're going to cut him in on every deal. Obama's going to get a cut everything. Just to have his name on your board of directors is going to cost you at least $10 million. Obama's about to get paid, man. Can you imagine how much it's going to cost you to have Obama just to speak at your company? Shit, man. If you think Bill Clinton gets paid, man, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Obama about to... Let me see here. So I like all the cues. Obama about to cash in. Let me see. Yeah, you know, and Trump's still saying it's rigged and whatnot. I can't stand him talking about it's rigged. Come on, man. People out here still voting, man. People out here still voting. People out here still voting. And then I'm going to put out some of the ones that Jay talked about. This list is okay because we got some higher price stuff in here. We got some lower price stuff. Higher price stuff, lower price stuff. We'll see. 314, you're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, was you in on VAPR?
VAPR?
Yes.
Vapor Brands. No, I was not in that. Huge move by the company though.
Because I remember you saying like, man, that stock was gonna run.
Yeah.
And it took off today.
Yeah, I mean, Vapor Brands, it's been running for, a couple of days. I'm actually kind of surprised how aggressively it ran today. But the volume, my problem with this is that the volume hasn't really approached anywhere near the way some of these other marijuana plays have been running. So that leads me to believe that, Vapor Brands, sure, it's out there and it could be doing some things, but I'd love to see a lot more people in it than just, the few that are already in the stock. But I mean, look, 43% gain today. That's huge.
Yeah, because I was looking at the other marijuana moves or whatever, and most of them were down. I believe this is associated with marijuana somehow, correct?
Yeah. They supposedly have a marijuana thing. I mean, they all say they do. All say they do, but yeah, man, the stock has been running, awesome for the last, couple of days here. I'm seeing.
All right, real quick. I wanted to ask you about one more stock. This is the stock that I'm actually in. It's MCOA.
Marijuana company. Yeah, marijuana. Is it like Corporation of America or something like that?
Yeah, I just want to ask you if I got in at 108, okay? I got in at 0.0108.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it would drop? Because I told myself I'm going to get out at 216, 0.0216. You think it'll drop back into the ones again?
Well, eventually it will. Yes, it did. Eventually it will. I mean, if you're in there at 1, I mean, I'm taking profits if I'm you right now, man. I mean, you touched almost 4 cents in this stock.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind you were looking at your account and you were up a couple 100%, 400% at one time.
It was like 2 something.
Yeah, I mean, why watch your profits dwindle? I mean, because the last 2 days have been red days for the stock, right?
Yeah, but I'm still up like 196% or something like that.
Yeah.
Let
me ask you something. Let me ask you a question. If the stock was down 20% tomorrow, would you be mad you didn't sell, or would you still think it would be worth holding?
I mean, I don't know. This my first stock I've ever played. I've been watching the show for a little while, picking up little things here and there.
Okay.
Really a novice at this. This is the first stock I played, so I'm kind of excited about it. I'm thinking about selling. I want to at least double up on my first trade. It'd be awesome if I can double up on this. That would be 0.0216. But I'm thinking about selling.
I mean, because my thing is, why not sell? I mean, look, you're playing this this game, because it kind of is a game, and you're winning, take your wins. You'll have more than enough opportunities in the future to make money in different stocks, different, times, whatever. Because there are unlimited opportunities to make money, but you only have limited opportunities, a limited amount of times you can lose money. So don't watch your gains disappear, man, because again, you could have a 20%, a 30%. I've showed you stocks today, 40%, some stocks 50% one day. Yeah. So why not just take your profits and keep it pushing, man?
Yeah. That's what I'm end up doing. But I don't know. I think I'm going to hold on to it. I don't know. I'm thinking it can go back up to 4.
Okay.
I really do. I'm thinking it can go back up to 4. Like I said, this is my first trade. I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I'm looking in the chat room. They're saying too much emotion. Like, yeah, it's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of emotion into it. But I thank you for your time, man. I appreciate what you've been doing. I've been following you since the first show. So I'm learning. Thank you for what you do, and I appreciate your time for this call.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, every man's going to do what he wants to do with his money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, every man's going to do what he wants to do with his money. So, it is what it is, guys. But we've told them, sell, keep it moving. Some people, I understand it's your first time. You've seen the money grow. You're feeling yourself, and you know what I'm saying? Your heart is all in it, and, but, pigs get slaughtered, man. Pigs get slaughtered. But we'll see. We'll see. But I would love for him. I want everybody to have a 50% day tomorrow. I want everybody to have a 50% day tomorrow. Me, I'm going to stand back and watch and see what happens, because right now it's all about this Angie's List. I'm just waiting for that. I don't know what that was about, because we were all in the red all day, and in the last half hour, somebody decided to buy some shares. 847, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on? So how you doing, brother?
What's going on? Who am I speaking with?
This is Mike. We've spoken a couple times. It's been about a week.
What's going on with you, man?
So what I want to talk to you about is market's slow, and I've been having a rough go of it the past couple of days, past week and a half. I want to say I've given back about $1,500 in gains. My question for you is this, okay? Now, I pretty much turned 4K into about 10K. I was up to about 12. I had a mental stop of about 10. I just hit that stop. And, right now I'm just I don't want to trade for the next month pretty much. So I called my broker, told him to put my account on hold, because I'm afraid to give back my gains that I worked hard for this past 6 to 8 months pretty much. What are your opinions on that? Would you do the same thing? I mean, would you put your account on freeze if you're just not in the right mindset?
I mean, hell yeah. I mean, if it works for you, I mean, you just said it yourself. You kind of answered your own question. You don't trust yourself to go back into the markets and give away, your hard-earned gains. And if you feel that maybe your system needs some tweaking, maybe it's time for you to, sit down for a little while, look at your system, and figure out what hasn't worked over the last couple trades or last several trades, what you could have done better, and retweak your system, right? Because it's not you; it's the way it's your system.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So here's what happened. Listen to this, okay? Now you're familiar with PDT, right? Now obviously, your trades have to have 3 days to clear, right? Okay. There's this thing in 90 days. After 90 days, my broker takes you off PDT and lets you trade as much as you fucking want. Okay? So I was like, bam, I'm going to be trading nonstop until I get that flag again. And that's when it started all over again. Every time this happens, every 90 days, I get in the mode, I get my funds that are clear instantly. I can trade nonstop, and then I start losing. I start chasing the losses. I get a small loss. I want to get it back. I chase. I find out I'm making decisions that I would never make before. It's fucking insane. It's like this happens every fucking 3 months. And it's like, I know I answered my own question. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've been in the same spot. I'm pretty sure other professionals have been in the same spot. I'm just wondering, is it smart to stay on the sidelines for like a couple weeks, what would you do if you were in my shoes?
Yeah, man. I mean, just like I said, man, it's yeah. I would definitely do that. But again, when I hear you talk, man, it seems like you don't really have a system. You know what I mean? You don't really.
Oh, no, I got a system. Okay. It's worked pretty well. But like I said, once you get that first loss, you want to get that back, and you just like a snowball effect. It keeps bigger and bigger and bigger. Before you know it, it gets out of hand, and you're chasing fucking losses that you would never do in the past.
But I mean, it's going back in though after losing a couple times. Is that part of that system? Because it seems like that's not part of how you trade. Typically, chasing your losses and trying to chase the trades and stuff.
No, basically, my style is what's worked for me is this. I always look on my scanner for the ones that are just about to break out. I look at the volume. I see if volume's coming in. I want to make sure I look at the average volume for that stock. And if it's just a little bit higher, I try to get in as early as possible. That's my system, and it has worked for me. Obviously, you have to follow volume because if you're not liquid, you can't get rid of it. You can't sell. But we haven't seen anything go up. I mean, the past week or so, that's been even OTCs were dead the past couple of days. They were hot past couple of weeks. I know that for sure. But look at IMNP for example today. Okay. Now, news broke, pre-market went from 18 to 30. I know it's going to dump after pre-market. Right. You just fucking know that because it's a gap and trap. This happens all the time. So I wait and buy 26. You figure it might bounce back up. No, ain't going nowhere. Usually it does, though. Usually it bottoms and it bounces back up. That's a perfect example. It didn't happen. Yesterday with OGXI, the same thing happened. Pre-market jumped from 37 cents to 50 cents. Bell opens right around 54 cents. It dumps to 51.50, and it skyrockets to 70, comes plummeting back down. I knew that pattern was going to happen, but it seems like it didn't happen with IMNP. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the market's fucking dead right now. It's a short dream, Yeah,
I mean, jeez. OGXI, yeah, OGXI was pretty ugly for people who got in too high. It was looks like it was a nightmare, honestly.
It moved too fast. When stocks move so fast, you can't play them. I mean, you can, but the big crashes on you so fast, especially on low floaters. You want to tap the ask, but when you do, next thing you know, it's 2 cents lower, and you have to get out. You have to cut the loss. I mean, the only good trade today I saw, and probably everybody else saw, was SKLN at the open, because that thing jumped from 10 to 15.
It's so funny because we had talked about SKLN last night, and this is one that I think people have been wanting to have something happen for so long, and it finally did it. But again, SKLN never holds on to these gains. I just,
no,
never at all.
Yeah, I think they're doing a reverse split, 1 for 25. Is that tomorrow?
Don't know. Don't follow. I do see here. Okay, yeah, Skyline approved. Reverse split ratio of 1 for 25 to begin tomorrow. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a pump. That's all it was today.
Yeah.
So that's my view. That's my take. I think I answered my own question. I'm going to be on the sidelines for a while. And I would advise to anybody listening out there, if you're in the same situation, I know some of you guys are, girls are, if you're not doing so hot in the past couple of weeks, stay out. You don't have to play the market. I'm sure most of you work full-time, focus on other things. You can always come back. It's a cycle. It will come back. Just stay on the sidelines.
But, I would suggest you paper trade while you're out, though. I mean, I would suggest you still, stay in it in some way where you can at least start trying some new things or following some other, ways of trading.
That's actually pretty good because then I can write down and see if I would have been correct, would have been wrong, vice versa. What I was also thinking about is getting to shorting. I mean, I think it's pretty lucrative. I don't know if you do it. I don't do it. I know you need margin to do it, but I'm kind of scared to hold something overnight to short, obviously for obvious reasons. But I know it's lucrative. A lot of people do it.
Yeah, shorting. Yeah, shorting is actually one of the primary things I've been doing. Angie's List right now has been a great short for me, And holding overnight is dangerous. But again, it goes back to stock selection, making sure you're choosing a shitty company that nobody's going to want to buy or, come in and save or anything like that. So, stocks decline faster than they increase in price. So shorting is typically a style that you would do intraday. So, it typically works for people who aren't affected by PDT rule. But if you are, it'll be something where you've just got to make sure you pick one that you can hold overnight because you are affected by the PDT rule. So it's got to be a good, just a really shitty stock that you can get in at a great price and hold overnight and, not have to, stay awake up at night because of it.
Okay, 2 questions on shorting. Can you short OTCs?
No.
You can't do that.
Well, yes, you can. It depends on the brokers. If you have interactive brokers, if you have SureTrader, you can. But here's the thing. For OTC stocks, right, anything under $250, and that applies really for any broker, you're typically having to put up $2.50 for every share. So a lot of these weed plays, man, 12 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, you're putting up $2.50 of security for a 50-cent stock. It doesn't really make sense. So
wait a minute. So let's say you have 10,000 shares of a 20-cent stock. You're telling me you have to put up $22.5?
Yes, you got to put out $2.50 for every share that you're trying to get. Yes. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to short anything under $1. Honestly, it really doesn't. So you typically want to short higher price stocks. So, when you're shorting OTCs, we're talking about shorting just pumps that have gotten ridiculously high, or staying with your current broker, your E-Trade, TD, whatever you use, and shorting NYSE or NASDAQ plays, even if they're over $1. Yeah, you're putting up $2.50 because that's the $2.50 rule. But, the fact of the matter is there's profit there and there's still meat on the bone for you to be able to take. And the brokers consider that security for them and security for you. So
now what about, what factors do you look into when you short? Like, do you looking for companies who have warrants out there, offerings? Like, what else do you look for?
Well, no, I'm just looking for pumps. I'm looking for clear pumps like CANN right now, CANN.
Marijuana stuff.
That's a clear pump. I'm waiting for that to just show real death patterns. Angie's List right now, an old pump of mine, CTBO. That was a clear pump that it was a sham company that had gotten to like almost $4 or $5 a share. So you're basically looking for stocks that are just highly overvalued. All right, insane PEs. Poor valuations in terms of earnings. So like poor earnings, you can short into those situations or after those come out, especially on very volatile companies that already are trading at about $1 to $3. Those typical stocks, when they have a really bad earnings day, they will run red for typically 2, 3, maybe even 4 days in a row before they recover. So those are opportunities to short as well.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now, when you're shorting something, do you always look at the float? Higher the float, is it harder to move, obviously, or how do you do that?
The float, it plays a part, but not necessarily. Again, I go back to fundamentals, again, whether or not it's a bad, it's put out a bad earnings report, or it's just overvalued. I think when it comes to shorting, valuation, guidance, and just overall negative sentiment plays a bigger part than float. I think float really plays more on the buy side than on the sell side. Obviously, though, it does have its point, because obviously I would never short a low float stock like a OPTT or something like that could just really turn against you instantly. But,
or like a RGSE.
Right. Those can turn against you in a heartbeat, and you can be out of a lot of money. But they don't play that big of a role. Not that big of a role.
Well, we haven't seen any of those really run recently. I mean, like, it's been a long time. RG, what did they go from, like $2 to $8 in a day?
Yeah, it went up there, and then you have another one, SAEX.
SAEX,
That one went from 7 to 40. I mean, there were people who were short that, and there was a lot of covering in SAEX. That's one of the reasons why the stock went up there so high, because you had guys who were trying to get in when the stock went 7 to 15. It slowed up a little bit. Guys came in short. All of a sudden, the stock went to 17. They were covering, and then all the way up to the 40s. Eventually, the stock came back down. But again,
then it went to 70 the next day, right?
I don't think it ever got back high. And,
it did. It went to 70 the next day. It closed at like 40, and then it opened at 75 and crashed back to 40 and crashed back to 10.
Yeah, it went up. Let me see.
I'm pretty sure it did. I think it was such a small float.
Yeah, it came back down and tried it up a little bit again the next day. Yeah, it actually did come back up. Not as high as the day before, but yeah, it did try it again the next day, looking at the chart here. But yeah, again, those are real dangerous plays that I would never touch, a float that small. I think it has only 7 million, probably I think even less than that.
No, I think it's less than 1 million actually.
Yeah.
On SAEX. But I also want to ask you this, man. How long have you been trading for? And since you started, what % are you up?
Well, been trading now since 2012, and in terms of percent, it's really not fair to say, because again, for most part, between 2012 and 2014, I promoted stocks. I bought, shares of companies that I knew that were going to run, and they ran, and I participated in a lot of promotional activities. So if I were to give a number, it wouldn't honestly be fair, because it would be in the several thousands, just to be honest with you. So.
Okay.
But again, I promoted stocks, so on my own, that's numbers that I'd rather keep to myself. But I made a lot of money promoting. But a recent, last really year and a half, I decided that I want to learn how to really trade for myself and not do the promoting thing. And that's kind of why I started the show and things like that, to get myself acclimated with trading like a disciplined trader. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking at the chat right now. I got some people saying, please fucking hang up. I got some people saying, please go deeper. So what should I do, peeps? Give me a shout out. Should I go deeper or should I fucking hang up?
Well, this is probably the last question of the day, because I know, I like to keep the show under 2.5 hours. But, yeah, appreciate the call, though, man. Appreciate the call.
All right, man. Hey, good talking to you, brother. Take care.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, guys. So appreciate the caller. I know some of you guys were like, yeah, get him off. Some people hit me up on Twitter. Hang up on Twitter. Somebody hit me up. But yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, guys, so you got the list. I think I put that in the chat room. I hope I did. Let me put that in there one more time. But some of the more reliable plays that I really want to see run again, like Gevo and whatnot, they're not running, man. They're not running. I want to see NASDAQ start doing its thing again. But right now, as Jay said, the S&P 500 has no SPY, has no plans. It's just going sideways. We don't know where the market is going. We don't know where the market wants to go with itself. So hoping that it can figure it out and we can start seeing some of these stocks start running again. Because at the end of the day, how the overall market, works, it does affect a lot of the ways that the microcap market works as well. Yes, indeed. You said add XXI to that list. What did XXI do? All right. Let me just check that out one last time. Century. Yeah, okay. It's all right, man. It's all right. XXII, kind of boring, though. Kind of boring. Doesn't look very disciplined at all. I'm not sure. When I see a pattern like this, the stock doesn't know what it wants to do, and I don't know what I want to do with it. Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow, Friday show. And, Friday shows, we talk about anything. Of course, we always end up talking about stocks, because it's my favorite thing and most of you guys' favorite thing to talk about. But we'll try to delve into some of the other things. Did you not see it? Hold on, let me put it back in there. Yeah, we looked at ONCI, but a lot of people are saying ONCI is a pump. A lot of people are saying ONCI is a pump when we looked at it. So, yeah, you can't go wrong with shorting. Can't really go wrong with shorting. I have a feeling that caller knows a little bit more than he's giving off that there's people always trying to kind of test you like that, but it is what it is. That's life. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Money Stay Woke, Bruce Hall, Bill Betts, Kenny Campbell, Henri, Speaker Knocker, Stock Diva, Ralph Reynoldson, Stock Diva. I'm still waiting for you to call up with a stock one day, Stock Diva. And shout out to Miss Petaway. Miss Petaway watches the reruns. She's a nurse, so I know she doesn't have the opportunity to be in the chat room all the time every night, but she's working nights, I think, right now. Good night, Sinclair. Henri, Connor, appreciate the call, man. Jay, Bruce Cole. All right. Gerardo, V12, Lawrence Kane. Everybody, all the new people and the old people, I appreciate all you guys, man. Appreciate all you guys. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Yeah. He knows a lot about trading. It's just some people try to, they want to, kind of test people's competence. But it is what it is. 1970L, appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we'll definitely watch. Be here tomorrow for the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.